Hello everybody, and welcome back to Season 43 of the Pichu London Cup Series. Today we're at Bristol Motor Speedway for the running of the Food City 500, and our second playoff race of the season and the second one in round number 1. And on the pole here today will be the number 14 of Niall O'Hare. Alongside him will be the number 9 Nathan Ormond. Row number 2 has Samet Ozkan and Owen Miles, and row 3 is Garrett Albertson and Isaiah Bernash. Row 4 has Juan Rodriguez and Landon Smith Jr. And row 5, Cassie Reynolds and Casey Hoyt. And row 6 was the highest finishing driver among the playoff contenders last weekend at Darlington. It was Matt Gomes who was the runner-up, and he will start 11th here today. Paul Barber will start alongside him in 12th. And then Unleash Your Quillies and Zach Fitzwater in 13th and 14th, and the last two in the playoffs, Matthew Buss and Allison Rain. And here's a look at the rest of the drivers and will they be starting here in today's race. The two part-timers in this field are the number 50 of Jackson Nantel and the number 55 of Colton Robinson. And all these other drivers are not in the playoffs, but all trying to win here again at Bristol. There's our winner last weekend from Darlington. It was Quinn Porter, and he'll start in the back today. But last weekend, Quinn Porter was able to make the pass on playoff contender Matt Gomes for the win at Darlington in the Southern 500, and it gave 2311 Racing their first ever PLCS victory. And so Porter will start in the back, but he is sure glad and so happy to have gotten the win, and finally gives 2311 Racing a victory in this series. And he pulled off a stunning upset, shaked up the playoff points for real. And before we do start on the playoffs, though, let's take a look at the playoff points heading into Bristol for those who did not see the end of Darlington. So here they are right now. Our eyes will focus on Isaiah Bernash and Samet Ozkan in the bottom two to advance. Ozkan currently is 2 points above the cutoff, and 3 of 4 stored Haas cars are currently below the cutoff line. Landon Smith Jr. is 2 points below, along with Unleash Your Quillies. Zach Fitzwater is 13 points below, and Niall O'Hare is 17 points below. But Niall O'Hare starting on the pole today. We'll see if his fortunes will turn around here today at Bristol. 50 laps at the regular track at Bristol Motor Speedway. The dirt race was a wreck fest, but we'll see what happens when the dirt gets taken out. Green flag waves at Bristol. First lap to Niall O'Hare. Oh, there's some bumping and banging in the back, and there is a caution. Already a caution, already a pileup, and let's take a look at what happened. John Andrews looks like he got turned, and sure enough he did. 3-wide battle does not go well. He gets contact with Foster Henderson. David Aline and Nicky Maxwell also caught up in the wreck. Oh, big crash ahead of them. Big pileup in front. And I don't see any playoff drivers in the wreckage, so all the playoff drivers right now, they look to be safe. They look to have escaped from the wreck, but Zach Fitzwater went up in the wall, racing to the line. Oh, I hope Niall O'Hare doesn't get any damage from this. They're going to avoid him. Oh, Juan Rodriguez just went around. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Wow. Juan Rodriguez just went around. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. So everyone's going to get back into the swing of things, and they should be clean. And the lap cars should not be in the way right now of the drivers. But Juan Rodriguez, is he going to get back in line? Oh boy, the one car, we saw him getting turned around after they took the caution. It looks like they're going to let him go back to where he was before he got turned around. So, little damage on the bumper. It could slow him down, but Juan Rodriguez looks like he is okay, and he's going to continue to race. Oh man, that was a close call there by the number 1 team. That could have had devastating effects on his playoff chances, on his chances to advance, I should say, to the next round if he's not able to continue. Quentin Moore on pit road, and he was among the drivers that sustained damage from that caution. So let's take a look at see if anybody retired, and doesn't look like anybody retired, and everybody's going to get back on the lead lap. So first caution, not bad. So let's go back to the green flag, and we're going to go back to racing. In the lead is the 14 Niall O'Hare, but Nathan Ormond is right now behind him in second place. You can still see the smoke, I believe, from the last wreck they had before. Or there might have been some contact. I think there was contact. Arthur Richard is up in smoke, and the caution is out. Oh, Owen Miles. Whoa, wow. Too close there. A little too close to the 51. The caution's out, I believe, for the 51 car. And there you see right there, a little contact with Quinn Porter. He goes up into the wall, into the fence, and he got hit from behind by Maxwell Smart. Just couldn't get in, he just couldn't get into his pit stall. I think he was trying to get into the pit stall, or he might have tried to gotten into the wrong one. So, yeah. Oh, another flip. Oh, Connor Breen's upside down. Oh man, Connor Breen goes upside down. I think that's really why we're under caution. Yep, he got hit from behind. Oh, he got hit. He clipped and goes upside down. Ooh, a crazy wreck there on Connor Breton, and he falls upside down. Wow, that is a crazy one. There you see the 47 Dmitry Baranovsky made contact with Breton, and Breton gets stuck up on the wall. There you see him upside down, and he's going to be out of this race. Oh man, that is crazy. That's just crazy. Wow. Anyway, back to the green flag as Niall O'Hare is going to continue to lead this race. He's got some battling behind him as the 9 car Nathan Ormond. He wants this win as much as the 14. That win would get him in to round 2. Green flag back in the air. Baranovsky, Breton, and the 51 Kyle Gordon are out of the race. So I might have mentioned that it was Arthur Richard, the 51. It's actually Kyle Gordon, the 51. So my bad. 51 Kyle Gordon, though, is out of the race. Oh, one car up in the wall, Isaiah Bernash. But he's able to save it, and more cars are loose. Oh boy. They're beating and banging at Bristol, all trying to get those points to make it to round 2. Some of them are below the cutoff. Niall O'Hare is well below the cutoff. He is actually in last among the playoff drivers. So a win here would advance him to round number 2. And it would be a shocker. Nathan Ormond, though, he's looking for a way to get through that 14. He wants to get in as well. He wants that spot into round 2. 16 loose. 14 still trying to hang on, trying to block the 9. 16 up in the wall. And the caution's out. A big crash behind them. Billy Bishop among the drivers involved. He flipped upside down and it looked like it was going to be tight. And sure enough, and there you see why we're under caution. And Quinton Moore was up in the wall. And Colton Robinson got into Billy Bishop. And he flips, brings out the caution. Could have come at a better time for the 14, and that 9 car was really fast approaching. Oh, they were trying to avoid the lap traffic, and sure enough they did. Oh, they just did. Oh man. Oh my gosh. somehow, some way, they are able to reorganize and are able to get back to the green. Are able to get back to it. And Stewie Moore, Bishop are out of the race. Colton and the others are going to be a lap down or two, so they're going to stay to try to finish this race. Halfway home, 25 to go at Bristol. We are back to the green. See if the 9 car can try to make a move on the 14. He's looking low. Does he have the move? Can he do it? Niles trying to put a block. 14 trying to block the 9. The 9 car trying to find an opening. He might have just found it. Might have found an opening. Here he comes for the lead. And the 9 of Nathan Ormond has finally taken the lead. He was waiting for the right move, and he made it. And now the 11 of Oscon trying to make a move for the second spot. And now Niall O'Hare is struggling, and he is dropping back. He led the first half of the race. He's up in the wall. Niall O'Hare's up in the wall, near contact with Juan Rodriguez. Oh, he's struggling. Oh, and Miles spins. Matthew Buss is around as well, and that'll bring the caution. Oh, man, Niall O'Hare was struggling on that restart. I just don't know what happened to his speed. And then right after, the caution flag flies again. There was some contact with Owen Miles and Landon Smith Jr. They were all trying to avoid the 14 car. And Owen Miles just was trying to find a way to get through. And Landon Smith Jr. was blocking him. Miles went up into the wall and into Matthew Buss. And there they go around. There goes Miles. There goes Matthew Buss. And that'll bring the caution out again. Oh, and it looks like Alexander Rowe was hit. Oh, man. Matthew Buss is not getting back on track. Oh, the 18. Wow, he got into the barriers. Oh, he got into the barrels. I should say the barrels he got into. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know if he was trying to enter pit road or whatnot. I don't think he had any steering left. And he hit the barrels. And he just missed it. He missed his stall. He just missed the entrance and just couldn't get his car onto pit road. That was just weird. And now Moore's out of the race and Rowe's out of the race. Durrani and Buss are out of the race. So now Matthew Buss is the lowest driver to finish in the playoffs. So Stewart-Haas Racing, it has not been a good start. 3 of their 4 cars retired from Darlington last weekend. Now Matthew Buss is the lowest driver. The one driver that made it through with a decent finish at Darlington last weekend from Stewart-Haas now is the lowest finishing driver here at Bristol. So it hasn't been a great start for the Stewart-Haas brigade in the playoffs. And they might see all 4 of their cars not make the playoffs. But we shall see what happens in this race and the next one, which will be the cutoff. That's going to be at the Roval next weekend at the road course. So the leader is now Nathan Ormond, and he's trying to collect another victory here today in the PLCS. He won 2 races earlier this season and now is looking for a 3rd. And here we go to the green. And Samet Ozkan only win so far has come at Bahrain, and he got in that way. So now he's trying to win again. And already another caution as Jackson Nantel went around on the restart. Oh, what happened? There was a miscommunication with Jackson Nantel and Coda Butcher, and Butcher just took him out. Wow, they didn't even get a lap in and the caution came out. So the 9 car is going to lead back to the yellow. Oh man, that is just crazy. Alright, so we're back to the green. A handful of laps, not many laps to go here at Bristol. 10 to go exactly, that is. So here we go back to the green with 10 laps to go. Bristol. A lot of wrecking here today. Let's see who's going to make it out. Without wrecking. Casey Hoyt's up in the wall. Oh man, a bad jump for the 42. Oh, but he's rebounding. It looks like the 42's rebounding sort of. That was a bad jump on the 42 though, but he's making a comeback. Oh no, he's still up on the high line. He's having some trouble trying to get that grip. Battle for second place, and it's going to be Matt Gomes, and it's going to be Matt Gomes trying to get second as one car on pit road. That is Steve Morgan. Oh, what is the 78 doing? Wow, that was close. That was very close to hitting the leaders. 3 wide behind them. It's only a matter of time before the wreck happens, and if they wreck at this point, if a caution comes out, it'll come down to a 2-lap overtime finish, and it's going to be crazy at Bristol at a track like this, and we have a caution with 6 to go. So the question is, will there be an overtime finish? Let's see what happened, and Quinn Porter was the one that brought the caution out as he makes contact with Allison Rain. One of the playoff drivers was involved. Allison Rain was hit by Quinn Porter, and they went around. And now the question remains, will they get an overtime attempt? Or will they try to finish this in regulation? Oh, the 9 car, is he going to try to avoid the 55? And he is. Oh no, he's going to pit road. Oh, I'm not sure why he has chosen to go to pit road at this time. Oh man, this is insane. The 9 car goes to pit from the lead. Wow, I think he had a tire go down or something, but that is a twist that I did not see coming. He's going to pit. Oh, wow, that's a twist. I don't know what the 9 was thinking. I don't know why he chose to pit from the lead in this very late in the game. Might have had a tire go down or something. I don't know, but oh man, that 9 car, he's not going to make the playoffs for sure. Oh, and guess what? We're going to have one more lap, so there will be no overtime attempt. I think the 9 was trying to bank in on an overtime attempt, but that's not going to happen. They're going to finish this race in regulation under green, so there's not going to be an overtime attempt here today at Bristol. I'm sure the 9 team will not be happy with the decision of them trying to have a 1-lap showdown instead of trying to get a 2-lap overtime finish. But that's just how the race. That's just how the racing is. So they will get a 1-lap shootout to finish this in regulation under green. And here we go, one more lap. Samad Ozcan, Matt Gomes battling to see who advances to the next round. One more to go at Bristol. To the bottom lane. Can Matt Gomes make the move? Down the final corner. Here comes Gomes. Can Gomes clear the 11? Down to the line. It is Matt Gomes to win it. Matt Gomes wins. He made the right move, and he gets to the next round of the playoffs. Redemption for Matt Gomes after heartbreak on the final corner last week. Last lap pass on Samad Ozcan, and he takes the win at Bristol. Matt Gomes. I mean, he wanted to win this one. He lost a heartbreaker last weekend at home at Darlington, and now redemption and for the 38 team, and now they are safe and they're moving on to round 2. Wow, Samad Ozcan just did not see Matt Gomes coming. I mean, he was hungry. He wanted to win so bad after heartbreak last weekend. And sure enough, Matt Gomes, he redeems him. He gets redemption here tonight at Bristol. What a finish. Another race decided on a last lap pass. The playoffs are here. And they are intense. And it's going to be a lot of fun. They're definitely going to be a lot of fun here in the playoffs today. So let's take a look at the points. Let's take a look at the final results, I should say, from this race. And a lot of playoff drivers, a couple of them retired. Matthew Buss, we mentioned, 37th. Other playoff drivers in this list, Nathan Ormond was 2 laps down in 29th. He pitted from the lead. I guess he thought that there was going to be an overtime finish at Bristol, so he got fresher tires and fuel just to get ready for that overtime finish. But it didn't pay off, and he ends up 29th, the next to last driver among playoff drivers to finish. So that's a huge point swing. That's not going to be in his favor for the 9. So, wow, that is going to really shake up the points. Owen Miles ends up 27th, but he stays on the lead lap in the race. Allison Rain somehow made it through 25th after getting into a spin with Quinn Porter earlier to bring out the last caution of the race, but Rain was able to work her way up to 25th. And another playoff driver, Bernash, ends up 18th, and Unleash Your Quillies ends up in the 16th position. Paul Barber, 13th, a solid day for him, and Casey Hoyt just missed the top 10 in 11th. But more points for the 42 to advance into round number 2. Zach Fitzwater and Landon Smith Jr., they were able to turn it all around. And same for Niall O'Hare. They were below the 3 lowest playoff drivers last weekend, and somehow they turned it all around, finishing 6th, 7th, and 8th, all in the top 10. So they turned it around, and we'll see how this affects the cutoff heading into the cutoff race at the Roval. Reynolds was 5th, Rodriguez was 4th, Albertson 3rd, and there you see all those drivers. And just to be exact, top 8 were all playoff drivers. The top 8 finishers of this race were playoff drivers. But Matt Gomes gets the most important position of them all, in first place with the win at Bristol, his second win of the season, I might add, and he will be in round number 2 of the playoffs. So we're going to take a look at the playoff picture right now. Alrighty guys, here is the playoff standings heading into the cutoff race at the Roval, and Matt Gomes, as you see, he is in the next round with that victory, so Matt Gomes will be into round number 2 with the win. Juan Rodriguez is 28 points above the cutoff, but he knows he cannot have a bad finish next weekend at the Roval. Otherwise, drivers behind him will catapult over the one and maybe put Rodriguez below the cutoff. Reynolds, same thing, and Miles and Albertson and Hoyt, they're not safe yet. They need to get a good finish, a decent finish at least, at the Roval to advance to round number 2. And a 3-way tie for 7th with Nathan Ormond, Paul Barber, Samet Oskan 16 points above the cutoff. Allison Rain is 14 points above. And Landon Smith Jr., he makes his way back up to above the cutoff with his finish. He's 9 points above. And Isaiah Bernash owns the final spot to advance. He is just 3 points above the cutoff. And there you see the bottom 4. Unleash Your Quillies is now below the cutoff. 3 points behind Isaiah Bernash. So, he really needs a good finish at the Roval here today. Roval next weekend, I should say. Zachary Fitzwater is still below the cutoff, 6 points below. Niall O'Hare, same thing, 8 points below. And now Matthew Buss is below the cutoff. He is in last place among the drivers because he did not have a great finish, as you saw from Bristol. He was above the cutoff. He was the only Stewart-Haas car above the cutoff before Bristol, but now he's below the cutoff, and only one of his teammates is above, and that is Landon Smith Jr. And again, there could still be a possibility that all 4 Stewart-Haas cars do not make round 2 of the playoffs. But Landon Smith Jr. is the only one above the cutoff right now, and this is a make-or-break race for his other 3 teammates to really pick up the points and pick up the finishing positions at the Roval next week. And Quillies, it's do or die, so he really needs a great finish to advance to the next round. Anyway, hope you enjoyed our race from Bristol, and we will see you next weekend at the Roval, where 4 drivers will be eliminated from the playoffs. Till next time, we will see you later.